Hello everyone, my name is Stephen Gibson. I am going to be doing a tutorial today for how to create a tattered banner effect like the one that I've got here and the ones I've got here on the spell cards. So this is for the item cards for the Scavengers item pack for Grimslingers, and it's a pretty simple technique. An important thing that I've been using, let me show you here, is I have this texture for paper. I combined a couple of different textures just off of Google, um, just for kind of a dirty paper effect. So nothing special there. I just Googled old paper texture, and that came up. So what I have to do is, this is the banner that's currently there. We're going to set up kind of almost like a mask, but not quite. So I'm going to block out the area I want for the banner. I'm going to create a new layer by clicking the new layer tab down at the bottom right hand corner, and I've set it to just black. I'm actually going to delete this old one, and obviously I don't want just a black banner. Whoopsie. On the wrong layer. Here we go. Sometimes you hit hotkey so fast that you lose track of what you're doing. So I actually have the texture right here, and I'm going to move it up, or I could just copy and paste this one in here. I'm going to hold, I'm going to pop it into position right about where I want it, right there. I'm going to hold Alt, and I'm going to click. You see this new icon comes up where my mouse is. I'm going to click in between both layers, and that kind of makes this bottom layer kind of like a mask for, that might not be the right word, for all the layers linked to it. So all the layers that are connected to it by clicking Alt are going to be confined to the space of this black mask. Now, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in here, move this over, is I'm just going to start, I'm going to use the crop tool. My hotkey is just pressing C, and that brings up the crop tool, and I'm using a 21UX Wacom Cintiq to do this, but actually it's a lot easier. You can do it with a mouse, and sometimes I do, just because my effect is just so loose and sketchy. It's not really a big deal. So I'm gonna select areas that I want to delete and kind of give it a more edgy effect here. And you'll notice I kind of do the same little details over and over again. So I do some cuts, and I also do some phrase and some stuff hanging down. Put away. Don't want it like I don't want a perfectly straight edge. So kind of cut away here. Now, so I select it, and then I am clicking delete to get rid of that selection. And then you can actually add to it by pressing Control Alt Backspace. That's going to paste, that's going to fill that layer with your foreground color, which mine is black. So I'm actually going to extend this edge here a bit, just to make it look a little more loose. Some of the details are very subtle, but they make a significant difference, in my opinion. So now you see I have like tatters hanging down. So this is kind of just a random technique. and I don't even care if it, you know, there's this tiny little space here. And that's just kind of how the effect works. Look, sometimes I cut into it a bit more. Yeah. Add some tatters here. I don't want to cover up the picture, so that was a little too thin. Sometimes I cut away a bit more so it looks a little more raggedy. Put some tatters down there. And you can even do this in like a layered effect, so there's like tatters behind tatters, but I did that effect here. So you can see that I have a front layer of tatters, and then behind that there are more tatters on these other banners, and it creates a kind of a cool effect. That's a raggedy banner. Oops, I'm on the wrong layer. So with my particular technique, I'm not worried about it looking perfect. Because perfection is not what we're after here. And cut in, and cut up a bit, and do some frays. Almost done. Not quite. This is the stuff, part of this is stuff I just couldn't explain because it just doesn't look quite right yet. I think I need to cut into it a bit more in some spots. It's looking okay. Might cut in a couple of holes. Alright, and then I am using some layer styles. So you'll watch me paste that. Now double click on a layer. It'll bring up a layer style box for options. I have drop shadow turned on. I also have outer glow, just it's darkening the drop shadow a bit more. And I have inner glow, and the inner glow is this little white faded edge. So I just have the opacity set to 64 or 65. It doesn't really matter what the exact number is. The size is pumped up to 9. And I'll move it just so you can see what happens. It's adding a white color to the edge, so it's kind of making it look faded. Right? And then the last thing I'm going to add, I'm actually going to move this picture down just a tad. There we go. Now you see here there's this border for it. That's pretty simple. I'm going to make a new layer, connect it with Alt click in between the layers. Then I'm just going to take my crop tool and select what I want, make it black, then I click the layer style or layer effect, and I'm going to set it to overlay, and that kind of makes it blend with what's there and gives it that kind of old look. Alright, and then I'm going to go in, I'm going to cut up this effect, and I'm going to try and I'm going to add some wear to the border and some unevenness so it's not perfect. Excuse me. Now part of this effect where I have it like these little fragments up doesn't make sense. I mean, it's not like literal, but it just looks nice. So sometimes when you're doing art, just don't worry so much about what's right, just do what looks good. In my opinion. That's not always applicable, but sometimes it is. So where there's like cuts in there, I'm getting rid of the border, or cutting up the border a bit. Where there are holes, there we go. I'll zoom in so you can see it a bit better. Okay, getting close to being done. Zoom out, take a look at it. It's looking nice and messed up. Cut out a section there. Even it out a bit. Yeah, this part right here is a little too pristine. There you go. And then there you have it, a little tattered banner. Gonna add a bit more spots here actually. kind of make it swoop up a bit more. Yeah. Look at all fragments. There you go. A witchcrafted rifle. I'm going to take these 3 layers. I'm just going to name them Untitled Banner. And then I can move that all together. And pop up this a bit more. Okay, and there you have it. That's how to make a tattered banner effect that I use in Grimslingers all the time. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just comment on the video. Alright, thank you.